Take a look at this. Fortunately, I need someone who can do it in 60 seconds.
The narrative starts as we meet a man named Gabriel. Two figures are positioned opposite him, one introduced as Stanley. Stanley ranks among the most skilled hackers on the planet. Also present is Agent Roberts. Gabriel now proceeds to state all of his conditions for Robert. They speak for a bit, then he rises from his chair. The instant he stands, all police officers fire at him. But Gabriel seems entirely unconcerned about this. He instructs Stanley to accompany him and starts to move. When the surrounding officers approach him, he reveals the remote held in his hand. And all of them are terrified that Gabriel could trigger a massive blast there at any moment. Soon after, Gabriel leads Stanley toward the building just ahead. Right after we step inside, we find he has taken many people hostage. And a majority of these people have bombs strapped onto their bodies. He orders his men to grab a girl and head outside. The moment the girl steps out, everyone's attention turns toward her. Then Gabriel phones Robert, informing him that a bomb is attached to this girl's body, and a man is positioned right next to her. Gabriel explains all the details. If this girl moves too far from the building, she will be blown to bits. Her bomb will detonate. Robert now relays this information to his team. Before that, the team members rush forward and shoot the man. The girl then begins running back inside the building, because she is aware that moving away from the building means the bomb will go off. But an officer arrives and attempts to grab her and pull her away. Now everyone is yelling that he should stop what he's doing. Stanley also yells from inside for him to release that girl, but the policeman will not listen. Two policemen drag her farther away. Numerous policemen are killed. All the nearby windows shatter from the blast, and the cars are overturned. Now the story shifts from here into a flashback. We then witness the scene from 4 days prior. We are at an airport with a man whose name is Axel Torvalds. When the policemen conduct a search, they discover 2 different passports on him. And this constitutes a very serious crime. Chaos erupts all around. There is talk of calling in the agents. Axel then realizes he is all alone. He makes an attempt to escape as quickly as possible, but the police apprehend him. They proceed to the police station. This information spreads like wildfire. After some time, this news gets to Senator James. The senator is extremely concerned, because Axel is among the very best hackers in the world, and he was previously employed by the senator. Now the senator wants to get him released at any cost, so Axel does not reveal anything. Then on another side, we see Stanley, who is on a bus practicing golf. We then learn that he resides inside the bus, meaning his financial situation is extremely poor. After a moment, a girl arrives here whose name is Ginger. Stanley is already acquainted with Ginger, and Stanley also assumes that Ginger must be here with a job offer. As soon as Ginger arrives, she gets right to talking, and she says that the person I am working with is wanting to meet you. Ginger is aware that Stanley is an incredible hacker. Stanley responds that I will inform you I have left all that old stuff behind. Now I avoid any illegal work. I am leading a very quiet life. Ginger replies that whoever told you that you were needed for some job, you should simply go and see my boss. If you see him, you will even be paid money for that meeting. But Stanley shows no interest in these things. That's why she then asks him, so how is your daughter doing? Upon hearing this, Stanley becomes enraged here, and he throws Ginger out of his home. Then he places an immediate call to his wife. We then find out he was divorced several years ago. His wife subsequently won custody of his daughter Holly. After a brief period following the divorce, his wife wed another man. He produces adult films. He remains intoxicated all day. Stanley understands his daughter isn't safe there. Nobody will look after her properly. Her stepfather could film her at any time. Every one of these thoughts consumes him from deep within. Now this is the reason Stanley phoned his wife, so that he could check in on Holly, whether she is safe or not, because Ginger just now mentioned Holly's name. Stanley repeatedly insists to his wife here that I need to speak with Holly, but she reminds him that you were already given a warning by the court. Stay far away from us. You cannot ever just call us like this. Do not phone here again. After saying her piece, she terminates the call. Then Stanley storms outside in a rage. He sees that Ginger is still waiting for him outside. Ginger says to him that how much longer will you live your life this way? I know every detail about you. You desire for your daughter to come and live with you, so she would be safe, and you are also repeatedly filing court cases. There is no cash. Where you are currently living It is a struggle for you to survive. How will you support your daughter? There is only a single way to get your daughter back. And that thing is money. If you possess money, then you can afford an expensive lawyer. You can create a good home for yourself, and after the court sees those things, you will get your daughter back. But Stanley is not about to listen to Ginger. He says that all these matters are not simple. But just as he turns to go, that's when Ginger tosses a bag toward him and tells him to open it. As soon as Stanley unzips the bag, he finds $1 lakh inside. Ginger approaches him and says that this cash is just for meeting my boss. Meet with him one time. If you do not like the work, then don't accept the work. Return home with this cash. After hearing these words, now somewhere Stanley is also contemplating whether he should meet her boss or not. On the other side, we see Axel, who has summoned his lawyer. This lawyer is exceptionally sly. Even if the police try, no details are being extracted from Axel. After witnessing these things, Robert also grows weary, and in the end he personally enters the interrogation room. After stepping inside, he places his firearm in front of Axel. Then he says that I have handled many different hackers. One hacker was not speaking a word just like you. Then I shot him in one of his hands. Since that day he has become useless. He cannot hack anything using one hand. Now you tell me what your choice will be. After hearing these words, Axel just laughs. He says that the person for whom I am working, if he ever finds out, then he will do much worse to me. You will just shoot me in the hand. Axel says, who is it for whom you are working? I know that you are leaving the country, attempting to flee. If you will tell me his name, then I can help you get out of the country easily. Now their conversation is continuing. Then a man appears on the other side, and he takes out his phone and speaks. Then another officer comes inside and informs Robert that you have a call. The moment Robert steps out of this room, we see a man who is named Marco, who shoots both Axel and his lawyer, and he escapes from here. And when Robert comes back in and sees these things, then he realizes that this situation is more serious than he thought. On the other hand, we see Ginger and Stanley. Stanley has consented to a meeting with her boss. Ginger brings Stanley to see Gabriel. Gabriel is pleased to meet Stanley. After talking for a little while, he places a laptop in front of him and says that you need to get inside, into the servers of the Ministry of Defense. Stanley says that I have quit this work. Then a man comes and pulls his arms behind him. Then Gabriel informs him that good hackers, it will take them at least 60 minutes to breach this server. But I am giving you just 1 minute. Breach the server very quickly. Then Marco appears and puts a gun to his head. Stanley has no other choice now. He tries to breach the server repeatedly, but he keeps failing. As soon as the 1 minute of time expires, Marco pulls the trigger, but there was no ammunition in his gun. Then Stanley reveals that he had breached the system just in time. After seeing this, Gabriel chuckles. He says that I knew you were able to do this. Stanley is extremely furious. He gets up and walks directly to the washroom. Then Ginger goes after him. After seeing Ginger, he says that you completely trapped me. Ginger says to please use your brain. Gabriel is not just some average man. You will perform a task for him, about which no one would ever be able to guess. And you will receive so much money, about which you have not even dared to dream. If you do anything illegal outside, you will be sent straight to prison. But everything is secure with Gabriel. If you really want to get your daughter back. Stanley finally agrees, and he comes outside and asks Gabriel, what is it I have to do? Gabriel says, what is the rush? There is a party at my place this evening. Come to the party, I will explain everything. On the other side, we see Robert. Robert begins to review all the footage from the airport, where those men had captured Axel. He notices 2 people there. He says, where did these 2 individuals go? Start tracking their movements. Then in the next clip, they are spotted trailing behind Stanley. After spotting Stanley, Robert is stunned, because he is aware that Stanley is among the best hackers in the world. He puts it together that this man must have some kind of connection with Axel, because they are both hackers. And why were these 2 men tailing these people? On the other side, Stanley has arrived at the party. Gabriel takes him inside his house, in the basement of his home. Here he has built an amazing computer setup. After seeing this, Stanley's hands begin to itch, because the computer is his one true love. Gabriel informs him that you have to create a virus. If that virus gets inside any kind of computer, then it can extract all his data quickly. And to even turn on this computer, You will need that very same virus. This computer is also heavily encrypted. So get started on your work. As soon as he gets up after working through the night, he goes directly to Ginger. He informs her that I need your car. I have to go and see my daughter. Ginger hands him the key. On the other hand, we see Holly waiting outside the school, and she is trying to repeatedly call her mother. But she is intoxicated. That girl just remains sitting outside. That's why Stanley arrives here after a little while. After seeing Stanley, she is extremely happy. Stanley takes her for a drive around the city, and then he finally drops her at her home. The policeman gets in and sits in his car. He turns around and has a look. Then he sees Robert. Robert had already apprehended him. Now Stanley is terrified. He knocks out the policeman and starts to run. He continues to run, and these men continue to follow him. After some time, these men finally catch Stanley. Then Robert asks him, "Why were you running away?" Stanley says, "Because I saw my daughter, and the court has forbidden it." Robert says, "We were not tailing you. What are you doing here in this city? There was another hacker here in this city. His name was Axel. He is now dead. What are the two best hackers in the world doing in the exact same city?" Stanley says, "I do not know anything." Then Robert hands him his card and says, "If you find yourself in any trouble, call me right away." Stanley departs. As soon as he gets back to the house, he sees that Ginger is in the middle of changing clothes, and there is a wire on her body. Then he grabs her and asks, "Who are you?" Ginger gets frightened. She says, "I work for the narcotics division, but I have come here to capture Gabriel, not you. You do your assigned job and take your payment and leave. I will not present any sort of threat to you." Now they are still talking. That's when Gabriel walks inside. When Gabriel shows up, she quickly hides Stanley's wire so that Ginger won't get caught. Gabriel then tells Stanley to come outside with him. They drive for a while and stop at a cafe. Gabriel asks if Stanley knows about a program called Swordfish. Stanley says no. Gabriel explains that in the 1970s, the narcotics department started this program to handle drug money. At first, they collected seized money and put it into Swordfish. But later, the people in charge used the money for themselves. After 16 years, the program was shut down. By that time, $400 million was in the accounts. Over the years, that money grew into $10 billion. Gabriel says he wants to hack that account and steal all of it. Stanley says the job is very hard, especially since they don't even know which bank has the account. Gabriel points outside to the bank right across the street. Stanley is shocked. Meanwhile, Robert has been following Stanley. He discovers Gabriel's house and sees a powerful computer in the basement. Pictures of it reach a senator. The senator calls Gabriel, warning him that the FBI is watching and telling him to stop. Gabriel refuses, saying he will finish what he started. Angry, the senator orders his men to kill Gabriel. Stanley keeps working for days and finally makes a virus that can break into the bank. One night, while getting wine, he finds Gabriel's dead body in the basement. But when he goes upstairs, Gabriel is alive and well. Confused, Stanley says nothing. Gabriel takes him for a drive and explains that he is like a magician. He tricks people's minds to hide the truth. Suddenly, men attack them. Gabriel fights back, flipping cars and shooting with heavy guns. Stanley realizes these men were sent by the senator. Gabriel later kills the senator himself. Stanley tries to quit, but Gabriel threatens him at gunpoint, giving him only 12 hours to finish. Ginger warns Stanley not to run, because Gabriel is too dangerous. Stanley finally finishes the code, and Gabriel gives him $10 million. But then Gabriel shows him another basement full of weapons. He explains that a secret group was created years ago to protect America by attacking enemies directly, without government rules. To do this, they need a lot of money. Stanley understands they won't stop and decides not to help. He cuts the power and escapes. Gabriel lets him go, saying he will come back on his own. Stanley goes to his ex-wife's house, but finds her and her husband dead. His daughter Holly is missing. He realizes Gabriel has taken her and returns. Back in the present, inside the bank, Stanley asks to see Holly first. After Gabriel shows her, Stanley transfers the money. But he secretly makes it so the money keeps moving between accounts every 60 seconds. Gabriel notices and threatens him by hanging Ginger. Stanley fixes the transfer, but Gabriel shoots Ginger anyway, knowing she was an undercover agent. Gabriel then puts Stanley on a bus full of hostages with bombs strapped to them. The bus heads for the airport, but suddenly a helicopter lifts it into the air, shocking everyone. But Marco also falls down along with him. As soon as these men are away from the bus, both of them are blown up. After a little while, after encountering a lot of trouble, he lands the bus on a building. The robot comes with the entire force. It will take some time for them to arrive. By then, Gabriel deactivates all the bombs. All the people have been freed, and he tells Stanley that you are also free. The second chopper has now arrived. I am leaving. Then Stanley recalls that a bazooka was left in the bus. He comes back to retrieve the bazooka. By the time he goes, Gabriel's chopper has taken off. At the same time, Stanley fires the bazooka from here, and he blows up the entire chopper. Now everyone has dead bodies below them. The next day, people go to the morgue. The robot has also brought Stanley, so that he can identify Gabriel. He sees Gabriel's corpse, which is badly burned. He had also informed the robot about Ginger. The narcotics division sends a list of all their agents, and they state that they never had any employee who was named Ginger. After hearing this, Stanley is extremely confused, and he understands that Gabriel has played such an immense trick. He was constantly playing with his mind, and this was the principle of Gabriel that a magician follows. To hide something, he creates a distraction. When you look the other way, then he makes the original thing disappear. And somewhere Gabriel has also done this. A little while before, as soon as Stanley went to the basement, he saw a man's corpse. It was Gabriel's corpse. Gabriel was an agent of Mossad, who was captured, and they brought another Gabriel. And he received plastic surgery on his face and was made to look like him. By now, the one we thought was Gabriel, his name is likely something else. He did it intentionally so that Stanley would always believe that Ginger is a narcotic agent, so that his soft corner is created for her. And in the end, Gabriel murdered Ginger in front of him. Then Stanley will come seeking revenge somewhere. That's why they showed Stanley and left the bazooka. And Stanley did precisely the same. Gabriel was not ever sitting in that chopper. They just placed the dead body in it, and Stanley fired the bazooka and made their job easy. After recalling all this, Stanley smiles somewhere. But he doesn't tell Robert anything. This case is now closed. After leaving here, Stanley thanks both Ginger and Gabriel, because he fulfilled all the promises that Ginger had made to him. He intentionally killed his ex-wife and her husband, so that Stanley would gain custody of his daughter. And according to the agreement, he will receive $10 million, so that Stanley can live the rest of his life with his daughter. He is content with this life. On the other hand, we see a woman in a bank who has come to take out money. When we see her face, we realize that she is none other but Ginger. She takes the cash and boards a ship where we see Gabriel. These people travel forward and one by one kill all the terrorists who had at any time attacked America. Then this film concludes here.